Okay, so where we left off 2 weeks ago, your group gained what appeared to be some epic loot, including raiding the horde of Mama Fock, Zachary scooping piles of many things into his hat, also functioning as his cosmic sack. Fockionis gained two of his mother's, even though one was retrospective, giant teeth, losing one in a trap, and then presenting the second to a very scared humanoid bandit. Again, confused, humanoid bandit. A lot of strategies were trialed to disarm and navigate some traps. And your group did a great job convincing anyone that was watching that you didn't, in fact, have any fucking clue about, a map of this dungeon or where the traps were. Bravo for that. Alia, to prove that point, was momentarily lost in a pit. Zach proved that he could actually look for a way to disarm traps rather than just setting them off. And various members of the group gained entry to some hidden areas, the party mildly splitting up. Fockionis used his mum's tooth to intimidate his way through a doorway, finding some mysterious items scattered around a room that contained a solid timber chair bolted to the floor with some ominous-looking restraint straps that were reminiscent of almost like an electric chair setup, but without the electric chair headpiece. He found the lid of a music box embossed with a harp and a broken set of goggles that looked a lot like Mish's, is what he found in that room. Alia also forgot about the winged silver key that her and Fockionis gained way back at the start of the dungeon, but remembered and gained entry into a mysterious room that had a range of items presented on display, and also managed to, with Zach, avoid damage from the traps that in the end were rather predictable from what you'd experienced so far in the dungeon, really starting to get a hang of what's there, and including having a map. Not Alia's strong suit, though, being aware of the map. And so where we finished up, you grabbed a whole heap of different people shit and stuffed it into your bags. And there was also, sorry, I missed this in the recap, there was the chamber that appeared to have been exploded with gunpowder residue around the room and some suspicious scorch marks. You also got a stack of gems and a powder horn, so a cow's horn, or a bull's horn more accurately, filled with gunpowder as well. So where we are, there's a few of you spread across two different rooms. There are two very scared bandits, human bandits, cowering, one in a puddle of his own wee. And where we left off, Alia and Zachary had sussed out, and I believe Alia had grabbed the fancy loot off the table. So there were 3 braces and a staff, and Fockionis had definitely snatched up the goggles and the lid to the music box. So this is where we are to kick off this evening's festivities. What do you guys want to do? Ivy's still dead in a bag. Ivy's still dead in Fockionis' sack. In the body bag. I had to word it that way at least once. I had to.
Oh.
Would it have been better if I'd called it Fockionis' magical sack? Would that have made it better?
Looking at Ivy's comments. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I really shouldn't. I should not have. I shouldn't have the chat open. I'm seeing the message about the cat. All right. Back to the rest of you who are alive. What would you like to do? I liked the one that said you can use Ivy's body as an example of here's what happens.
I'm going to inspect the loot.
All right, so inspecting what you grabbed, you're not quite sure what they are, but they're clearly finely made. There's 3 braces there that you picked up, variety of materials from light to medium in thickness and heaviness, and there's a timber staff that is really finely carved with lots of what appear to be kind of vines and leaves around it, and length of around 6 feet. A little bit hard for you to tell because it's much taller than you, but around 2 of you in height. You're not exactly sure of the nature of them. These are items that, from your now experience, you need to identify. Oh my god.
Just taking the focus away from the sack, if that's okay.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
And my work is done. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, I think the shark has been jumped for this evening. Oh my god. What do you guys want to do?
The title isn't What's in Fox Sack on YouTube. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, just look
Fox
around and
magical sack.
look around and look. My God.
Oh, that one's gone on the short list of episode titles.
Oh dear.
Turn into a door explorer.
All right. Focusing in on the live players who are in the dungeon.
Nah.
Give it a minute. Look, at least she's getting a giggle on and making it worthwhile being here with us on your wedding anniversary. So I'm glad we could bring you so much joy. And I was laughing there before. Thankfully, Twitch records this because the first couple of minutes I bumped the recording button off when I was cracking up at the pillow.
What, this one?
Yeah, that one. It's...
Oh my god.
Dear Lord.
Oh, why does the music turn on in bloody Foundry every time?
Every time.
Every time.
Is my soundbite complete yet?
Yeah, no.
What would you like to do? Team Chaos. Living up to your name.
Yeah, I'm just in that room with the bandit guys, just walking, keeping an eye on them, watching them piss themselves. Just, yeah, just looking around,
That's a strange thing.
waiting for fucking Alia to shout out or anything.
So Zachary, I will say that you did, because of where you're positioning yourself, I've just put you where you are because I was moving things around, but you did see the loot in that room, and you did see you suspected some traps. So you saw that there was stuff on the table, you saw what it was, then you stepped out of the way because you've been to the toilet like 37 times, so you knew that there were traps there and you stepped away to not be at risk of them. That may not have been exactly the wording, but you stepped off to the side. So you saw the loot, you've heard the traps go off, and Alia, if you step back and have a look, inspected them, and I believe she is also putting them all in her loot pile. But at least you saw them. You had eyes on them. I'm guessing that's right, Ali. You were looking at each of the items off the table, and I'm pretty sure you would have stashed them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not the staff though.
Not the stuff.
I'm gonna give that to Zach.
Handing it out the door. There's now currently a staff just waggling out of the doorway in your direction, Zachary. What would you like to do with that?
No, it's a stick. Thanks.
No worries.
You're
lucky I didn't tell you to stick it where the sun don't shine.
Isn't that in my sack?
Except you're not there.
Right, what's Fock doing? Is he grabbing his loot and coming back as well? Or...
I'm taking it from that nod. Yep. Well, he had already grabbed it
Poorly timed
last session.
on my behalf. Yes. I already have two special things in the backpack in my inventory: broken goggles, broken music box lid. So I have those and I'm heading back.
All right, let's head to the exit.
And dodging through like puddles of questionable fluid.
Uh-huh. Yep, so you're just leaving the bandits there?
I mean, we should, I don't know, tie them up or whatever.
should-
We get like 400,000 meters of rope or some shit from some guy that used to be in our group.
Well, really, we should end them, but it's not.
We can take them back with us. We can throw them down the corridors.
What other corridors? Did you see any other corridors on the way in?
I assume that we're not finished with dungeons and that there may be more levels.
Maybe after we go through the portal.
Honestly, though, I'd be happy
The
to see
bandits
that.
are listening to this and hearing the various fates that are awaiting them there. The ones right beside Zach can't really do anything. The one that was in front of the door, that Fokionis just came out of, is unknowing that there's a companion around the corner there, is just slowly trying to quietly crawl, not even standing upright, just quietly trying to crawl towards the corner, away from what you're discussing. So he's moved 5 feet from his corner.
I guess I put it to them like, do you guys want to come through the portal with us?
The Stricken, the one who was attempting to crawl, attempts to communicate back to the sounds better than the alternatives. Like the eyes are just wide. They get no idea what to make of you guys.
All right, let's go.
No, wait till they see what we have waiting for us.
So you're just walking with them. They're not restrained or anything because of this. Okay. I'm just gonna. I know they can move past the drape, but I'm just gonna bring your little companion back over to you. All right. You're just heading out the way you came in, so that known good path where you close the trap off. Yep. So, what's your marching order? Where do these bandits sit in
Left,
your...
right, left, right, left.
At the back, I guess.
Okay, so you are all heading ahead of them, and the 2 bandits are behind you.
Well, yeah.
No, that's a bad idea.
Zachary's already off thinking this is a great
They
idea.
can go in the middle of us.
Yeah, I'll
In the
go
middle.
behind them, keep them honest.
Or Fock will go behind them then, and I'll go in front then. And Ali will be behind me.
Ali is behind you. All right. With the little Drake companion, who I'm just going to move with you guys. All right. So just really confused that there's some damp squelching footsteps, but these guys are compliantly moving between this. They're kind of looking back and forth at each other every now and then. They've still got their weapons. They're really at a bit of a loss as to what to make of you guys, and also still not entirely sure what the hell happened to the goblins that they were discussing when you guys came around. You caught all of that conversation, and even with all of your perceptions, it's pretty obvious that body language of confusion, and these guys are very, very lost as to what the hell's going on. But out they come. To I'm going to just move all of you down to basically exiting the hallway, because you make it through with no issue. There's no problems. They're confused and compliant. You can tell me where you want them when we get down there, but it's half a bloody livestock menagerie with you guys when you move at the moment. And that doesn't even include the ones you left behind.
Oh, yeah, we get those ones, and I'll go to the toilet again, and then I'll go through the portal.
Oh, fuck.
Through the doorway, Zach's headed off to the toilet. He's very confident that these guys are fine. But Alia and Zachary, Alia and Fokionis, as you're coming through with these bandits, they just, like, you take a few steps after you get through the door and realize that they're not quite with you. And just a slight turn of your head, you can see them. They're not doing anything nefarious. But they've stepped through and just seen the pile of like ragtag clothing, the huge pile of ragtag clothing that was left behind when Mama Fokionis disappeared. And then off to the other side of that chamber, the huge pile of dismembered goblin corpses, which they don't know whether that was you guys. They don't know whether that was the big lass. They have no idea. They've just walked into this room of absolute carnage, which I guess at least answers the question of where the goblins went that were meant to be with them in the room they were in. But they've just stopped in their tracks and they're just looking around. Like their eyes are rolling around in their head, struggling to just comprehend the gore and mess that is in front of them and around them, while the strangely just dressed guy in the tuxedo just toddles off to a toilet.
Hell yeah.
I'm
Where
gonna call down
Brutus
Brutus.
is still sitting. He
and
comes
see
down
what
to
these
you.
guys do.
Wonders past. The for a moment there's kind of there's recognition. That they both definitely recognize the Velna Hound that has walked past them, and they kind of you see their body language change for like a half a second, almost as if they're expecting the dog to do something, and then when it goes and sits and licks Alia's foot and sits at her feet, that they're just like a deflated balloon. There was like a moment of something that becomes nothing. They are thoroughly, the body language indicates they are thoroughly just defeated and semi-broken at this point.
Oh, Rick would be proud.
Let's find
We didn't kill anybody now.
Sure.
Sure.
All right, so Zachary, you headed off to the loo.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, you can while you're in there. I think I counted yours up. I think this is now the 7th or 8th time in there studying that map. So you have it, even with your intelligence, like it's basically tattooed on the inside of your eyeballs at this point. What you want to do with that info is up to you. But exiting the toilet, you've got your group hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
You notice Brutus is no longer there, but then you see him down next to Alia.
Alright, I get Rathy and
Oh yeah, I forgot about
bring
him.
him down.
You can't see Rathu anywhere.
And where's Rathy?
Can you just put him away
Rathy.
so you didn't have to
Rathy.
tell so many?
If you're
No,
talking
he's
above the
gone.
table, no, Rathu was just made invisible by me, and Egg noticed it. But in terms of you guys as your player characters, you thought Rathu was there at the bathroom with Brutus.
I lost Rathy. He's not here. Alia,
Why are you looking at me?
help me find him.
I left him with the cat. I'd ask the cat what happened.
You look around, and Grebo has just wandered around and is currently just sitting down in the corner behind your Drake companion. You actually stepped over him without even noticing him as he came through the doorway. He's pretty good at not being noticed if he doesn't want to be. Still no Rathu nearby.
Do I need to sniff him out?
Yes. Don't leave a member of Chaos behind. Like, bring her home. Obviously means Rathy. Like,
investigation sneak roll.
All right, so are you going to try and sniff him out?
Yep.
All right. I will give you that. The last place that you saw Rathu is adjacent around where you currently are placed. So where I've moved your token. So can you give me you're really familiar with Rathew's scent by this point, so can you give me a perception roll with advantage, please? Which I think you get, you don't get double advantage, but I think you get advantage on those in the Underdark as well. Seriously?
What the fuck?
Let's
So what does
double up.
that give
That
you?
counts as better, doesn't it? No.
You don't have any pluses on that, so you sniff around, but unfortunately, like you give it, like you're at it for, you don't want to leave Rathew behind. You're at it for the better part of an hour, but the overpowering smell of whatever it was Zachary did in the bathroom and has wafted out of what you thought was an impermeable curtain, apparently not so, for the power of Zachary, and it is preventing you from picking up anything other than you know he was there, but you've lost any sense of where he may have gone from there.
No, I can have a look as well.
Yeah, but make your choice on whether it's an intelligence or a perception, as to whether what you're casting around for. I'll let you make that choice.
Perception. I'll just like, look around for like disturbed dust or whatever
Yep.
he'd leave.
Yep, you
Okay.
don't quite have the same benefits as what Alia has, so you'll just be doing a straight roll.
Alright. Oh, he's gone.
You did get some sign of some tracks, but with Alia like nose to the ground trying to pick up his scent, that it's a real scuffed up surface. You can't get any real lead on or read on where Rathew has gone from where he was.
Alright, well, let's go through the portal then. Poor Rathy.
My mum used to say, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, then it was always yours. And if it doesn't, then whatever, just get another one.
Hey, I got plenty of pets. She can have one.
I had lots of fish as a kid.
Yeah, your mother was a wise woman. Like, I met her for
Yeah.
those
Apart from when she's trying to
that
fuck
like
my anger.
minute, and she's very wise. So I think we should do what she said. Alright, let's go through the portal.
All right, so Zachary's leading off. He's heading towards the portal, which is essentially that circular part of the map. Is everybody following him?
Yep.
All right. As you're heading down that way, Alia behind Zachary, you see Brutus. He's coming along. Normally, he's sort of just behind you on your heel, but he comes up beside you where you're kind of skirting over around the goblin body parts, and just you see him take a few tentative steps and sniffs again at that pile of clothing that's on the floor, and then with a really deep, brief growl, unceremoniously urinates on the pile of clothing, scuffs his feet, and resumes walking by your side.
I'm gonna give him a pat and a cheeseburger for that.
Happily accepts it, munching away, a little bit more of a spring in his step than what you've seen since encountering him a few hours ago. So Fokionis, you're kind of coming at the rear here, potentially going past you've taken the items that were of any kind of value and worth, and Hades's collar with the note that was inside of it. That you're walking past what's left of your mum for what might be the last time.
That Brutus
It's now
just
also
pissed all
my
over.
puddle of piss.
Yeah, and you've just watched Brutus unceremoniously piddle over one. I mean, in fairness, one small section of the amount of urine he could produce over the giant pile of clothing that was left there.
What are you saying about my mum?
I'm not really there, so you're kind of talking to yourself at this point, Fokionis.
Yeah. Not the first time. Well,
Oh, she reappeared. Shit.
No, I'm just giving you. She's got the skull there. Just giving you the kind of the placement.
yep.
Piss on the dog. What?
And as Fokionis has kind of just come up to it, Zachary steps through the portal. Alia, Brutus, unnamed Drake companion, and you see you're the only one who sees this, Fokionis, as you're just sort of standing back at the moment. The two bandits, like they look at you, they look at the portal. They're really uncertain, but essentially just give a big sigh. One of them go, "Fuck it," and they step through. They've disappeared from sight. You're on your own in the dungeon.
All right. I'll just say my last goodbyes to the pissy pile of clothing that was my mum. And then head over to the portal.
All right. So with that, there's a bit to go through here. So it's not a big lore dump. Don't stress yourselves there, but you do have a few bits of info that come your way. So as you step through that portal, those of you who went through first, you actually find yourself in that kind of limbo state, unbeknownst to you why. But in reality, for you guys above the table, it's just waiting for Fokionis to come through, which the rest of you weren't aware of. I need to get to the right page. Sorry, give me a sec. There's a couple of bits of talk amongst yourselves. I just need to load the right part of OneNote up. Got it. So as you're coming through, you don't receive the big dumps of information that you have in the past. You are reminded and made aware that you have essentially a level 5 pending that is available to you when you take your long rest, which I know in practicality for some of you already have, and that you have that ability to completely change your race and class, or keep it the same, or choose to multi-class, like essentially D&D terms, to multi-class as well. You also receive a notification that the dungeon is complete. You receive the notification of the dungeon reward for the completion of 2,000 gold. So you receive double what you did for Dungeon 1. And then you receive another notification that you hadn't seen before, that is much better than the one you received for Dungeon 1, which was that you completed the dungeon to 100%. So that grants you a further 2,000 gold bonus. And on top of that, with like some little dots flickering in your vision, these are all like rapidly flashing across in front of you. There's no voice involved at this point, strangely, which you have experienced in the past. You then receive a further 2,000 gold bonus from being the first party in your sector to 100% a dungeon. So you're all receiving this information. It's rapid fire coming through to you, but compared to the massive amounts of information you've received in the past, it's relatively manageable, and no one is stumbling through that data as has been a challenge in past interactions and settings. So exiting or going through that portal with Fokionis entering, the group comes out of limbo, and you find yourselves into the bright lights of the of Mort's safe room, a very, very different from what you've been experienced in the dungeon, which, while lit, was nowhere near as bright as the the uncovered fluoros that are in the safe room. With the last bit of information you receive kind of upon exit and coming into the world between is that more areas and settings and shops are now open and available to you, having successfully completed dungeon number 2, and that you will receive an update to your map, which I will send to you in Discord in a moment, so that you guys have it with all of the new locations. But as you stumble through into that brightness, yourselves and the two bandits coming through, and then there's a dog, and there's a Drake wrapping around people's feet. You come through in this. It's not pretty. It's not organized. It is by no means a classy entrance into the safe room. But what you do see, Zachary as the first person through, having gone through a bit ahead of the others, is Mort standing in front of the counter where he normally sits behind with his drinks, and his eye goes wide in shock because he's there cradling Rathew, feeding him a cheeseburger and giving him a scratch on the tummy, and just seeing you come through unceremoniously in panic, lets go of both the rat and the hamburger. Rathew thankfully lands safely, and he just leisurely walks his way, a little bit of a look at Mort, but walks his way into the crate, which is now no longer in the sleeping quarters, but is sitting beside the bar and is open, and just plonks himself down in there. And then the rest of you come through. What you see is a startled now Rathew with the chaos that comes in, literally and figuratively, is the Mort, hamburger on the floor and a rat in a cage, open cage, looking a little bit less startled, but his confusion is just increasing as he sees the bodies and all the extras coming through from the room. So a little bit of a stunned Mort, who's not a big talker most of the time, but he's a bit lost for words with you guys coming through, and especially with the extras.
Hi, Mort. Is he seeing you?
Hi. Who the fuck are all these people?
What do you mean?
Oh.
And
Oh,
the bandits are just like, they're really confused. They came from nothing into a dungeon, and they are just looking around, wide-eyed still.
Oh.
Like their brains have almost broken at this point.
Yeah, we found them. They're cool. This is Sam and Dan. I didn't ask what their names were. So.
I thought they went to a Piddle and Puddle.
You kind of see like almost going to speak, but neither of them are game to. Most of them going, why the fuck do you have bandits with you? And they're just whispering amongst themselves, but they're just going, who's Sam? And are you Sam or are we? What are the names? What the fuck's going on? So they're talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out how to comply. Don't exactly know who that they seem pretty willing from the stage whispers that they're pretty willing to go along with whatever the fuck you want to call them at this point.
I'm gonna ask the bandits if they're hungry.
Yes.
Mort, can we get some cheeseburgers?
Yes. Don't you all have some more pressing things?
Yeah, fuck, we'll grab her out of his sack.
Yeah, right. We saw your message to bring her home.
I'm here.
And I'm very happy for it. With this, Mort actually activates the update to your maps, which I'm going to drop into the Discord, kind of forcing them into your view, and I'll load it up on the proper screen in a sec. But for you guys, there's your copy of the map for Discord.
Fuck, pull her out of the bag.
I am.
Do you need help or something?
Always.
Wow. It's a lot
Strangely, there are not
last time.
2 bandits on the world between screen at the moment.
What?
Was not expecting them to. Didn't expect B1 and B2 to make their way into.
That's their official name, B1 and B2.
Yes.
B1 and B2. I love it. Bandit 1, Bandit 2.
That's
I will put them in at a later point. we'll figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with them. All right. Yep. So you've now got access to a much more thorough version of the map, and you can see on that map that there's now a whole plethora of new shops that have opened, have been activated, that are now on that map and available to you with their names that may give you some indication of what they do. Do with that information what you will.
I can see it. Okay, cool.
So I have got the inventories active, but please just remember that your characters
Jeez.
can't see what's in and available until you actually go there.
Oh my god, there's a tattoo shop.
You don't know that, do you?
Yeah, you can see the
Oh, okay.
map and you can see the
You just
names
don't
of the stores. You just can't see their inventory.
know. Okay, you could get in there and there's like 15 midgets going, bars, bars.
You could.
But people
You
with
could
little
do that.
tattoos, sorry.
It's,
Do you have the
yeah,
bag yet?
what did you
Yeah,
want to do with
ages
Ivy
ago,
more?
ages ago. Come on.
Oh, have you taken Ivy out of the bag?
To
Yeah.
try and get something happening
With
there.
respect, though, respectfully.
So carefully,
Dumping her on the floor. No,
it's
I mean,
yes.
Jump on the bar.
So carefully taking Ivy out, and because like the bag can actually accommodate a Phocyonis size individual, and Ivy was not as big as Phocyonis, carefully removing her from it, but it still does eerily remind you guys of like a Slim Jim coming out of its wrapper, because it is an elven humanoid body coming out of this this sack that is barely able to go wide enough to accommodate Phocyonis, I would imagine, very respectfully and carefully taking Ivy out and laying her on the counter. Much to Mort's quite horrified and mystified, like, what the fuck do you want me to do with that? You need to get her to a healer. What are you doing?
You do it.
it's a healer.
He's like here with a plate of hamburgers for the bandits. He's half dropped them in their lap. He's come out. There's now a body on the counter. Not what he was expecting. And B1 and B2 are just both sitting there. They're going, like, they're just watching you pull the body out of your bag. Oh my god. That's pretty good. Oh. And there's still like Ivy is still her body is in good condition. It went straight into the bag almost, so it's not decomposed or anything like that, but it is covered in a large amount of blood. That is still, because it went into stasis, it's still, quite damp. It hasn't dried, and so there's now bloody smears across the counter. No more blood coming out. Her heart is no longer pumping. The Ivy wanted visual descriptions of the bandits. Lily, I have described them. They're essentially almost like you cross between a Pirates of the Caribbean pirate and a classic Musketeers era bad guy. They've got puffed out pantaloons. They've got almost like a pirate / old fashioned navy jacket. They've both got these orange and bluey bandanas. Bit of scruff on their face. They look very, very similar. They are, appear to quite literally being cut from the same cloth. There's very little differentiating features between them. Other than one, biggest differentiating is like one has a very damp pair of trousers.
And one's got one eye that's glass? No? All right, that's someone else.
No, or not you're aware of. You haven't investigated that closely.
Just want to whack him in the back of the head and see.
You can if you want.
But no, first, let's deal with Ivy.
Yeah. We go
But in terms of you guys, you were well and truly in and out. Like, you were in record time with that dungeon compared to what you did with Dungeon 1 and have 100%ed it. You're out with time to spare, and Ivy's barely been dead for a day.
All right, are we
to the temple?
Yeah, Mort, where do we go? Mort, where do we go?
Yeah, so like, how could they heal that? That's pretty like, she's pretty like, I mean, but she's pretty
Edge.
like yeah, like, I mean, I don't know any healers from my world that could heal that. Like, are you saying, is it like it's pretty bad?
Mort's like kind of goldfish. Mort's kind of goldfishing at this point because it started off with Fokionis asking where to go, and he went to start answering, and then Zachary's just kind of in this rambling sort of stream of consciousness diatribe that he's gone into. Every time he kind of half pause, he's ready to say something, and then eventually, by the time you finish talking, he's
Alright, I'll
quiet.
stop talking.
And
Sorry.
you may have noticed that there's magic. And if this had happened to any of you, Ivy could have fixed it. So go to the temple, or some of the shops may sell items that can help her, maybe, but the temple would be your best bet.
Thanks, Mort. Alright, we'll be back.
To the temple.
All right.
You like rush out.
Right, where's...
I need to know
Single file.
who is doing what
fuck?
here.
Oh,
So,
obviously,
like,
I will carry Ivy again.
Is Brutus coming? So Fokionis has got Ivy.
I feel like some of us should stay behind and look after bloody B1 and B2.
Well, I'm going with Fog.
Yeah, no, we go with Ivy.
We all go.
Yeah, we all go.
All right, B1 and B2, let's go.
Put the cheeseburger down. What are you doing?
Eating afterwards.
Okay. Sure.
Cheeseburger before.
Very, very compliant. They are a little bit mystified by what they're eating, but they seem to be enjoying it. One of them was eyeing off the Morts of Drinks cabinet, but thwarted any plans he may have had in that direction. So out you all head. Rathu doesn't come with you. He seems to be quite happy and content, kind of watching you all. You know, that one black eye patch standing out under the fluoro lights, but he seems quite content where he is. To let you guys know what happened there, I got Ali to do a perception check because Rathu was trying to find a way to escape everything that was happening. He was a bit overwhelmed, and he ran into the portal. But Ali rolled like a 1. didn't pick up on him sneaking up behind her.
Yeah, Ali
so
is
off you guys head.
on her bloody feet. Like.
So as you and your whole, I'll move the whole menagerie in a second. So as you guys make your way down, the temple is not all that far from the safe room. They're almost close, like side by side with each other. You notice that there seems to be a lot more bustle and activity. Not tons. You do certainly get the feeling that a lot of the people you're walking past are not necessarily crawlers like yourselves. You certainly got through very rapidly, and you guys would feel that how quickly you got through that dungeon, with all of the items and wealth, and you've got a lot of things that you don't know what they are, but your focus at the moment is currently, it appears, finally, on Ivy as opposed to catching up with Mort.
Finally.
Heading down to the gates of the temple. So what you can see, it's a rather strange kind of setup when your whole group forms an instant like rabble at the front. As you're heading down the entryway, you can see that there was like a little bit of a line at the front of the temple. It's very orderly, not too many, but you can see like as you get a bit closer, you see a mother and child step through, and it looks like the child's cradling an arm that appears that it might be broken. And then there's a guy sort of semi-staggering, and he's still swigging out of a bottle or something, and he's got some blood coming down from a cut on his forehead that he's looks like he's tried to like stop bleeding with mud. You hope it's mud. But before you even get to where they're stepping through, they've entered into the temple grounds, and you can see it's walled all the way around. It does have a really big shimmering entryway to the temple. No gates as such, just one of those very large panels that you're getting used to that has that semi-opaque quality to it. But what you do notice is that through that, that the entryway also seems to extend into a bit of a dome, quite a large high one, and through that you can see what seems to be just a shifting kaleidoscope of different types of religious buildings. And I say that because you're familiar with some of those structures from your experiences on Earth. Some of them look quite similar to what you've experienced as being aware of as religious buildings there. But others, like there's everything that there's pyramids, there's what appear to be mud huts, there's all kinds of things that just every few seconds it shifts, and the view behind that opaque dome seems to be constantly shifting and changing. Um, but you're at the entry. Are you stepping through into the temple grounds?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, your whole menagerie steps in. Let me load some shit up. Give me a sec.
A hot minute.
Yeah, I need a moment here to get the. There's a bit of
I'm
info that
prepared.
I need to have open. Here we go. So, in a much more orderly fashion, the way you stumbled out of the portal, because this is a much larger entryway, and instead of the portal being in the ground, that went from being, basically stepping down and then walking out, you just walk through that shimmer. No issue at all. It's the same as essentially Zachary's very familiar with going to the bathroom and going in and out of the safe room. It's now a very familiar experience to you, and um, different to what you saw on the outside. You're almost in like a clerk's office. You're the only ones in there. There's a pinched face. You think no, it's hard to tell. Very, very elderly woman, glasses that are like Coke bottle thick. Her mouth looks like it's permanently pressed into the shape you make when you're having a cigarette, but you never release it. There's a frown on her face, but it looks like maybe it never leaves. It's this huge ledger on the table in front of her, and the table is one of those big, thick, heavy banker's tables with a quill in the other hand. And she looks once, then looks twice, and scans around your group, noticing Phocyonis holding the body of Ivy. Then scanning again, just you can hear this murmuring, catching some of the words, but you're close enough that you can catch most of it. That essentially she's scratching on the piece of paper, and you're hearing things like affiliation. Well, none of the living ones have one, and there's just she's making all of these notes, and then just looks up. Still hasn't really interacted with you guys, and then just goes, "You get the duty, priest." And before you get even a chance to respond, the room does like that kaleidoscopy flickering and shift, and you find yourselves
Trippy.
in quite an ornate building. It's covered in basically essentially a big dome that you're in. There's a big ornate granite table in the center of the dome. It's not like a church you may have been used to from your earthly experiences, where there's kind of, the tables and things up the front, and then there's pews facing the front of the church. There doesn't appear to be anywhere to sit or kneel or any of those sorts of bits of furniture. There is the giant stone table in the center, and then around the room there are just interestingly, for a temple, there's all of these dwarven statues. To give you a visual, think like Lord of the Rings style ornate decorative statues, and these dwarves are in. They're soaring over the top of you. The shortest of the statues would be at least 40 feet tall. They are huge, and they are ornate, and they are detailed, and they're various battle poses, and there's different weapons being held, and then there's also various different dwarves there. Of you'd think they're male and female. It can be difficult to tell with dwarves from a purely visual aspect, but there's a variety of them around in all kinds of different poses, and seem to be all different affiliations and classes from what you know of the admittedly limited experience you've had in this world. But there doesn't appear to be any people there. So at the moment, you're got your group in this room, um, surrounded by all of this crazily detailed statues and a table, and no body, no one else there.
Do 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 do.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And your voice does, Zachary, echo, and it seems to build and grow and enhance and be like bouncing into areas that you can't even see. It's definitely nooks and crannies and spots that you can't see in this room, in this huge space. Excuse me. But then you do hear this coming back, this kind of semi-slurred and it's echoing around, but it's definitely not as clear. It's a bit bubbly. It's not super clearly said, but it also builds and grows and bounces around the room, and then you hear like this little at the end of it that also echoes around the chamber.
That's not creepy at all.
It's just how Spar talks.
Totally.
You will have mass homework.
We try to find him where the thing is, where the voice is coming from.
Yeah, and as you're looking around, just stepping out from between the feet of one of the statues, it happens to be one of the statues holding a warhammer, stumbles out this really red-faced, jovial, very jovial, rotund dwarf, kind of stumbling. He's got a flag and like a leather
Excellent.
sack of something in one hand. There's red wine stains on the big bushy beard on his face, that you think it might be brown or black. It might just be dirty. It's difficult to tell. His face has that beet red glow of the happily drunk, and probably the regularly happily drunk, judging from the number of burst veins and things that you can see on the smiling face. He's still chuckling about his funny joke, as he stumbles out towards you all, muttering and mumbling to himself, kind of half talking to and not making much sense. And occasionally it sounds like he's maybe trying to sing the words of some song that exists only in his head. And as he kind of gets closer to your group, Zachary, you were the one who was closest to him. He's still not saying a lot of sensical words, but offers you the wine skin, or you think it is at least, that's in his hand. Hey, well, you want some of this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it'd
Hey,
be rude to refuse, wouldn't it?
hands it to you and pats you on the back, and you take like a step forward, nearly swallowing the wine skin just from the force of the blow. While he looks jovial and rotund, there is definitely strength in that casual. Not, it was effortless. It wasn't an attempt to hurt you at all. It was a friendly pat on the back.
Yeah, so yeah, take a sip.
And as you're taking that sip, you barely register and feel a thick, meaty hand at the bottom of the flag and squeezing it and tilting it up further towards your lips. You're essentially being Guna fortuned at the moment in the nicest possible way. You're being encouraged to have a bit more. And as he's doing this, he's looking around there and saying, "Yeah, you're an interesting looking bunch. Who are
Oh,
you?"
fortune.
Yep. So Zach, are you coping with this? You're just going to attempt to.
What's it taste like?
It actually tastes quite nice. It's almost has like a sweeter cherry/strawberry flavor to it. It's despite how dark it looked on his beard, it's a really light, seeming to you at least, high quality wine or liqueur of some description. But you do, as you're gulping it, feel yourself quickly warming and realize that it is very strong.
Yeah. Stop drinking.
Yep. Can I get you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please? Let's just see where you ended up from that.
Do that. Saving throws. All right. There we go. Nailed it. 19 plus 4, 23.
23. So much to the impress. Oh, I just saw the picture. Much to the made a big impression on the priest. Sorry, I stumbled over my words looking at that bloody picture. He's watched the prodigious amount of wine that you have just swallowed, and you know your particular background and ancestry may be coming into play. You know, you sort of wipe on your sleeve rather than getting the red wine on your immaculate, well, semi-immaculate white gloves. They've got a bit of grot from the dungeon. No ill effects from it at all. Hey, you need some meat on your bones, but you're all right. Another pat that nearly sends you face first into the floor. Looks around the rest of you as he's still sort of offering his wineskin. He introduces himself as Brother Tomar, is his name. Tomar. What do you
Hey,
need? Is
Brother
it
Tomar.
broken arm?
Dead body.
I introduce us and Ivy. Yeah, Ivy is a little bit sick.
As you
at
say
the
that, he
moment.
lifts
Has that
one arm up and
ailment?
just lets it drop. She's not mostly dead. She's all the way dead. Put it down over there. And he points
Is
to the
that
big table.
Mort?
So you go, Zach.
Yeah, Mort said you could, do something to help us. I'm like, helping Fog carry her to the table.
Oh, yeah. How long? Hell.
It's like at the start of the dungeon, but we went through pretty quick after that. It's like
A day.
a day-ish, maybe.
Ah,
Maybe a day
ah.
and a half.
Easy does it. Put it down. And as you're doing that, he's now picked up twice. Alia has spoken up, and you're not much shorter than he is. Like he's only about 4'5". He's like almost as round as he is high, but he blearily squints at Alia, and then looks at his white flagon, looks back at Alia again, takes another swig, covers one eye, sort of nods to himself a bit. All right, you're real. He's just accept it now as part of the norm. As you've laid Ivy down, so Pocahontas, you're putting her down. Zachary and Alia, are you guys? Did you follow him over, or because the priest is kind of over where you were with the priest is a little bit off away from the table near one of the statues. So Pocahontas, you definitely need to move about 10 feet to put her down.
No, I'm helping Fog, put her down.
I'm gonna stand back.
All right, so Zachary and Pocahontas, as you gently lay Alia down on the table, there's plenty of space.
Excuse me?
It's very... Sorry, Pocahontas and Zachary, as you go and lay Alia. Let's see what I said.
That's true.
Ivy. God, Ivy down on the table.
Who's the one that's been drinking?
I haven't. Maybe I should have. Maybe that's my problem. I needed to have started before the session. Yeah, I There's I admire Jay more every session. There's a fuckload to keep track of when you're doing all this shit. So the two of you lay her out, and you notice that the size of this table could accommodate twice or larger the size of Ivy. She's dwarved by its scale, no pun intended. But you lay her down in the center. It's not a super high table. It's actually, Pocahontas, you need to bend down a bit to lay her down. It's clearly been designed with the height of the dwarves in mind. And lay her there in repose, and just gently place her so that her body is laying comfortably. Alia, you see the the very jovial dwarf who I nearly called him Thomas, but it's Tomar. Clutches a symbol on his, it's hanging around his neck, and the symbol is very similar to the statue that he stepped out from, looking like an ornate warhammer, and clutches that with two hands, and you just see like a a soft glow go around him, and then there's just this forceful eruption from it. Appears every pore of his skin, and it seems to be going through his clothing without any apparent effect. But you get hit with this spray. It only goes around about a 4-foot radius around him, and you are right there next to him. Just for the fun of it, can you do a dexterity saving throw? I just want to see how much of what you get hit with.
Mint.
Mint.
Where is it? There it is. Saving throw. Normal?
Yep, just straight. You don't get 2 of them.
Wait, where'd the other
Roll
one come
twice.
from?
I don't know.
Have you
What was
got?
that?
Can you just do a single?
I did.
you-
I just did a normal throw.
Did you
I
roll
don't know.
with advantage? Oh, you
No,
because
it's
you're a
just
halfling,
normal.
you had to re-roll once.
Oh, it re-rolled the 1 and gave you
Oh.
the 16. Of course, halfling
Oh.
it did it automatically. Okay, thank you for picking that up. Oh, that was going to be so much funnier if it had stayed as a 1, but you don't get ones for this stuff.
No.
So with the 16, you still cop some of the spray, but you catch, like, you don't know, you sort of edge away from this guy because he's been a bit weird. And you do still get like this spattering across one cheek and a little bit on your shoulder, but as being you kind of lick it, and it tastes like it
Strawberries.
tastes like a pretty sweet liqueur. Like you remember Ivy having drinks pretty similar to this. But what you've noticed is he appears to have just forcefully ejected quite a bit of liquor out of his body because it's hit the statues, it's on the floor around him, and he kind of shakes himself a bit and goes, "Oh, I can see the lass is one of us. Let's do this." And he just very quietly gives you a wink and takes another look at you and just reassuring himself that you are real. heads over towards the table where Ivy's body is. So to the 3 of you, basically you can see the price if you open up the temple store in the description. What you're attempting to do, or what he's going to attempt to do, is raise the dead. The cost of that is 1,000 gold, and he also requires, I'm just fast tracking this, that he also requires 1,000 gold or more worth of diamond. It can be single or multiple gems to attempt the spell.
I would have thought Brother Tomar would prefer emeralds. Someone looked up what Tomar equals in Dwarvish.
You can see that he's got clear eyes, and he goes, you can give me emeralds, but they won't help if you want her to come back.
Ah, you said any sort of gem.
No,
No, it's a
1,000 gold or
diamond.
more of diamonds. It can be any number of diamonds, but it's a value worth.
Do we pick up any diamonds in there?
I'm sure you
don't
shoved
have
a
any.
shitload in your sack.
I got gold.
Someone got gems.
Wasn't me.
Definitely check your
I
inventories.
got different types of gems, but no diamonds.
I got a busted ass pair of goggles and some fucking munted bloody fairy box.
I believe it was Phocionis. Whoever did the tomb that the king was in, he
Wait, I
had
got
3
them?
gems on his
Yeah.
forehead.
When? I'm
The
struggling.
I'm
room that
sure
had the
someone
toilet
picked
that you
up
had your
gems.
long rest in. You definitely did, because there was a
Gems,
ring that you identified during your long rest
I'm
that had a
looking,
fire
looking at my
affinity.
pack.
There was a
Oh yeah. Fire
and then there were 3
diamond.
gems. You didn't know their
Okay.
quality, but there were 3 large gems that you picked up.
Well,
1 was a diamond and 2 were fire opals.
according to D&D Beyond, the diamond says 5,000 gold worth. So do we get a refund?
You don't
I'm
know
kidding,
its
no.
value because you haven't got it valued. All you know is a big diamond and you have it. What would you like to do with it?
Oh, well, hand this one over. Does this do? Let me hold that barrel flask goon bag full of nectar there, Padre, for you.
Happily hands it to you, takes the gem, holds it up, looks at it, goes, if you're sure, yes, that is well and truly enough.
Well, it's the only one we got, so...
All right, so as you're doing, he's handed
No,
over,
left
sorry,
Yeah,
Zach?
left it at the diamond shop. Our other one, like it just. Sorry, it's on labor.
It's all right.
not
getting
really
rid
understand, but Tomar's not really focusing on you guys any longer. He absentmindedly hands his leather goon sack over to you, Phocionis, places the diamond on Ivy's chest, and then out of wherever he is storing things in his robe, takes out a small cloth and what appears to be water of some description, but it's in a very ornate container, and just the skin that is exposed and the blood that is on her outfit, he just carefully cleans, so her hands, her face, and where the stab was, as much as he can of the robe and leathers, and it seems to be doing a surprising amount, taking away that blood more so than you'd normally expect. It's definitely got the old dead old spray and wipe covered. So as he's doing all of this, then looks to the three of you, and basically explains that this what you are doing, you are attempting to do this raising of the dead. You're attempting to bring Ivy's soul back to join her body, but she definitely has not been dead so long that it can't be attempted, but it also is dependent upon her soul being free and being willing to rejoin the body at this point. So he'll be attempting it, and what you guys can do to assist and maybe make some small addition towards its chance of success is if you have anything you would like to lay on the table, or lay hands on Ivy, or anything you would like to say or send with what he is about to put out towards seeking Ivy's soul and seeing if he can reunite it with her body. Now is your chance to do it, and he will then attempt the ritual.
I feel like this is a trick question.
Trick? How's it a trick?
So okay.
Is it-
What else do we have? What did we pick up Ivy's stuff when?
yeah,
So who's got that? Me? Is that in my sack?
probably.
Well, then
You
I
pick up the rest of it.
maybe.
All I'm aware
Maybe
of
it's
is that you definitely took the healing potions. That otherwise, you tell me, but otherwise I'm not aware of anything
throw
else
the
being removed
healing
from her
potions
person.
over it. I mean, that would
Like,
be...
you've already drunk 3 of them.
Hmm.
And if you want, Zach, you guys don't have to. He's just putting it to you that if you would like to try and add something personal to this, as someone who knows her more so than what he does, you can.
Yeah.
He can't promise you that it's going to do anything, but you have the option to try and see if you can add something to the ritual he's about to undertake to see if he can rejoin her soul to her body.
Oh, I
I
hastily
could
draw.
always start like dropping my coins. Apparently,
Yeah,
it makes a noise.
we should have brought Rathy with us.
Yeah.
The,
I hastily draw a picture of Matthew. I don't know.
Ali, you drop some of those coins on the table, and they tell you with the tink, tink, tink that they make that they were dropped around 10 centimeters, 4 inches. They
I just said
outside
I
of the
could, didn't
surface.
say I was going to.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to. Sorry.
No,
Well, it's up to
I
you then
said
what
I
you're doing.
could drop some of my coins. They make a little noise. Could guide her back with the sound. Jesus.
Please go on.
just say how nice and like a force of good in the world that she was, and hopefully still will be, and be able to keep the rest of us in line, and stop us going crazy.
All right. So as Zachary's saying this, the priest isn't. The brother has actually moved around. He's at the finished cleaning, preparing Ivy for the ritual. He's now just gently cradling her head in his hands at the end of the table. Is there anyone else or
I just
anything
go
else?
and pop my hand on Ivy's foot and wish for the best. Oh, Ivy, come on.
That foot.
I want to carry you around no more, but It would be better if you could walk. You know what I'm saying? Please.
Very on brand. Alia?
Oh my god.
You
I
see
ain't getting involved with that.
see where there's one line of footprints in the sand? That's where I fucking carried you.
Jesus Christ.
That took. I'm not quite sure that's how it goes, but it's canon now. So watching all of this, Ali is just standing off like you can't feel that bond anymore that you had, and this is all very overwhelming. So you're there, you're very much present, but watching what's happening and almost standing guard over Ivy maybe one last time. So with that, a silence hits that chamber, and you can all feel the power in the room grow. The first thing you notice is that the diamond that was underneath Ivy's hands kind of dissolves, and it encapsulates a soft white glow that goes all the way around Ivy, and then it also extends up around the priest. It doesn't extend around you, Fokionis, but it does wrap. You can't feel anything, but it does wrap and surround your hand. That is
Hand will
just
be as
gently
hard as
resting
brass now. It's got
on
diamond
Ivy's on Ivy's leg.
fucking drills.
And after, I mean, it feels like an eternity, but what is probably in reality maybe only 5 or 6 seconds. The reverse of what you've seen before, where you've had encounters where light has come down and you've had what seem to be interactions with the AI running this whole show, and Zev appearing, shoots in the opposite direction, and it's a different color. It's that same white of the diamond, that pure essence, has now shot straight through the roof of the temple, and disappeared from your view. It's not a big circle. It's quite small. It's really only about 5 centimeters around, slightly smaller than the huge diamond that you had originally placed down. And this keeps on going and going and going, and the light then shuts out, and you just see with oh, we've lost. Hang on, I'll hold there. So we have Alia present as well. So a little bit longer than 6 seconds. It keeps on going. The beam of light now hasn't disappeared just yet. It's back up through the roof, and it keeps going through the roof. And I'm going to start bringing everybody down. Holler at me when she gets back. I'm going to see if I can fit you all in the temple.
She's back.
Because there's so many of you.
Just the time where we point out that she had like wireless headphones on the whole time and could hear us.
You could. Bandits aren't there yet. So that light then cuts out. So it went instantly up. It wasn't a fade and go, and it cuts out. And you can each pick up, because you're all so intent on what's going on, but you see the priest chin drop a little bit sadly, and just softly under his breath. But it's loud enough in this chamber for you all to hear it. So I'm sorry. She's at peace. And with that same swirl that you experienced with Mama Fokionis, when she departed, the body of Ivy inside her clothing just disappears breaks into these motes of light that brightly shine and then spiral and then disappear up through the same hole that the light of the diamond had left from, leaving behind her clothing neatly laid out, her bag of belongings, and the things that were on her person that you hadn't already grabbed. Ivy has departed.
What did we just pay for then? What the fuck?
And
Padre, if you want this bottle back, you better be fucking telling me what's going on.
the reason I'm sorry.
Sorry.
The body the spirit has to be willing to come back to the body, and she has found her peace.
What the fuck?
Can I get all
what have I
three
been
of
carrying
you?
around for then?
as Fokionis is just dealing with grief in his own way and throwing his hands up and almost knocking one of Ivy's boots off the table, but subconsciously putting it back up. Can I get all three of you to roll perception checks, please?
Perception. That's not good. I'm dumb as dog shit. 7. I perceive that I have a hand.
We got a 7. We've got a 12. Zachary with the natural 20.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I see all.
So, Fokionis, you've just recently lost. You're just reeling from the loss of your mum. You've had this hope of, for the last 24 hours, it's been very much at the forefront of your mind that you've got Ivy, you're carrying her, you're keeping her safe. You're going to bring her back. You're going to bring her back. You're going to bring her back. So it's fresh emotions have erupted in you. You're not paying attention to anything else. You're still half ranting at the priest about whether he can have his wine back. You haven't even noticed, but you're taking swigs of it every now and then.
I'm going to get something from
You're in
my
your you're in your own world. Alia, you're still just quietly processing and trying to take in what you already really knew. You felt that bond had broken, and not even the faintest remnants of it remained. But just coming to grips with this new reality, and Brutus sensing this, just softly nuzzles the back of your knee and is curled at your feet, but not trying to intrude upon your grief. Zachary, you had maintained a laser-like focus as this had unfolded, and you notice at the base of one of the other statues, deep in the shadows, there appears to be maybe one more person in this room than what you entered with. Lily, would you like to rejoin us?
What the fuck?
Oh, shit! Ah! Oh, what the hell? He tried to get out of nowhere. I'm sorry. He just came out of nowhere with the knife and it. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. Yeah, Zach's very sad.
Ah,
Yeah, and all this, he's feeling like he's failed again, all at once. He's just.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck are you?
Stupid.
And- oh my god, I'd like to see you roll better because she fucking rolled shit, and then that guy rolled heaps, and then some fucker come in and out, and then she's dead.
It's Rick, isn't it?
Oh, fucking magic hands over there was good for nothing. Truth be told, I almost died. And then I had to kill my mum. So fucking don't at me. And I carried it around. Fuck's sake. By the way, who the fuck are you? That's an odd last name. What country are you from, Jake? Fuck you. Nanya. I've heard of Nanya. That's beeswax or business. They're next to each other.
Alia, sorry, hold that.
Oh, I am just
Alia,
confused as hell right now.
when you heard the name Jake, can I get you to do separately an intelligence and a perception check for me, please?
Fuck me. So an
Sorry,
intelligence.
an intelligence and a perception.
Okay.
Just leave the number up on, and sorry, Jake, if
Intelligence,
you
is
could,
that an ability or a saving?
do it as a check. So if you hit on the intelligence, just the intelligence itself, it'll do an intelligence roll.
Well, that's what I did, and it asked me ability or saving.
I do it as an do it as an investigation, if it makes it easier. Do investigation and perception. And if you just leave the numbers up, Jake, sorry, please
Investigation.
continue.
And what was the other one? A perception.
Yep.
Could be
So
worse.
please continue, Jake. Sorry about that.
Clearly not. Otherwise, we would not be here.
Alia, with your intelligence check, when you hear the name Jake, it kind of snaps you out of your kind of trance you're in, and you start paying attention more closely to this strange figure that is so angry and throwing so many accusations around and sniffing the air from his general direction. You realize, just you, rest of your party doesn't know this at the moment, that this, by whatever means, is the same sickly figure that would visit Alia, and more often than not kick you out of the room and shut the door at various points during his visits. But they would also sit side by side with you on the lounge and involve you in their many outings and doings and gaming sessions. And he was an especially good distraction for you to raid the snack pile, because Ivy always seemed very distracted when he was around. But you recognize that this looks different, smells the same. This is the same Jake with the same voice.
Would Alia like to tell anyone else that or no?
Well, let's see what happens when Jake
What's
rounds
going
in.
on? What's going to happen here? Yeah, but I got pets.
What the fuck?
I eat cheeseburgers now.
That's the saddest affirmation of cheeseburger eating ever.
But I share. I share. No, my owners are meant to keep me alive.
It's true.
That's an interesting point that you don't make.
No.
I mean, isn't that the healer's job? I've drinking most of the guy's flagon, so I'm pretty much fucking tough
You
cut.
absolutely can. With the anger, I would say that if you would, in terms of what you're currently doing, you could attempt intimidation of Zachary with advantage, because you have well and truly just broken his spirit with your initial tirade.
I've
Even
just got
though
this
you're
cocked
not
head
very
going on,
tall,
like. What is-
your presence and your anger are just filling the room at the moment. You may absolutely attempt intimidation of Fokionis, and Fok, your save for that.
Hey, guess what? I
is-
have clothes now too.
Save me looking this up. What's the save for an intimidation? Egg, Ivy.
Mm,
Oh, sorry, Jake, Lily.
Be inside, wouldn't it?
Well, do your roll.
Mm.
Am I doing a saving throw for intimidation?
Hang on,
or
let's get the intimidation
I don't
roll
know
first.
where are we?
Next to it says charisma.
Yeah,
29.
got a
Did that come
+3
off a
for
nat 20?
intimidation.
Like, holy crap. Wow. So yeah, that was on the charisma, then
rolling
yours will
something, or what's the deal?
be
Rogues.
give me a
Intimidation.
oh, this for shits and giggles. Do an intelligence saving throw.
An intelligence saving throw.
Yeah.
What's intelligent about being like? Come on.
Well, you are extremely impaired at the moment.
Intimidation's my jam. I don't overthink shit. Come on. An
Yeah, but
intimidation.
you're a half
Intelligence.
drunk,
An intelligence saving throw.
very confused half orc at the moment.
Right. So I'm doing a saving throw, an intelligence saving throw.
Yep.
Good on you for looking at my weakest one.
I didn't actually, but I had a pretty
12.
fair idea that that's what it would be.
12. Whatever.
Yeah, 29 versus 12. You
Continue with this
certainly, you can almost visibly see Fokionis shrinking, despite being almost twice the size of this just whirlwind of anger and venom that has stepped out of the shadows. You see him shrinking back to the point that he almost looks, at least how you perceive it, the size of Alia, with how Fokionis is kind of backing down and cowed almost by the pressure of Jake's words and fury.
God, if Brutus doesn't growl at him, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
And I just was waiting to see what you were, whether you wanted to do anything more with your intimidation. You can address Brutus if you want. You can certainly growl at Brutus, who sits up. He'd already been paying attention. Sorry, stands up. He'd sat up when you were addressing Alia, but Alia didn't really seem to be too phased, more confused than anything. So he's on alert because there were raised voices at his bonded master's direction, but your growl in his direction is certainly met in kind with this deep, resonant growl coming back and echoing around the chamber.
Fox got my back.
She's not, but whatever.
We do a lot of dumb shit together. Be warned.
Well, she's in a happier place now. At least.
You are welcome to. It seems that you're not looking to do damage with it. You are welcome to try. If we're going to do it, I just want to know, Zach, are you going to resist? Do you want to attempt to stop or avoid that in any way, or are you just going to take that?
Well, she's saying she's angry. You can take it out on me if he wants.
Yeah. So without any real harm, and you guys can see that there's a bit of that outburst. You still don't know why, apart from Alia, who has some insight.
I
But
just
seems
totally
to be
avoided
fading
the
a bit.
question.
So far, yep. But the rest of you heard that interaction that was rather strange about that he knew the owner, and there was definitely some awareness there that you would have picked up on at least that much without any rolls. And Zach's just accepted that slap without, and noticed that there was no real venom to it. It was more an act of frustration and hurt than anything.
Yeah, I mean, logically though, we did her a favor. Like, she doesn't want to come back. So.
Zach, shut the fuck up!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jake. I miss her too. Poor Jake.
So the rest of you have seen all of this fury has happened so fast out of nowhere. You've just watched Ivy disappear to then this figure is not that big. Sorry, how tall is Jake? Ivy, just so we've got 5'7". So it's this ball of fury that other than Alia barely, registers on some of you with how tall you are, has just filled the room and space with just pure anger. But you watch all of that deflate and seem to drain out of him, and you can see that there is at least as much, if not more, grief there in those slumped shoulders and just downcast expression than any of the rest of you either have or are experiencing, with the exception of maybe one.
I'm gonna go just sit next to Jake. Just sit. Not do anything, just sit.
Hmm. So Brutus follows you over for this. The rest of you watch this happen. This really strange interaction. Like, you've seen Fokionis carry Ali like a football, and her jump on backs and shoulders. Aside from Ivy, this is the first time you've seen anyone hold her in anything close to that position. And Brutus, initially alarmed, sensing his owner's comfort, just sits down beside, keeps an eye on things, a little bit wary, but just sits there beside the two of you with Jake cradling Alia close.
Guys, fuck. I think he know. Hey, I think he knew Ivy.
Well, good for him. Didn't have to fucking tell me.
This is shocking. Still, I love it. You still got that wine flask, don't you, Fokionis?
Not anymore. It's empty. Good for fucking nothing. Could have bottomless fucking. Come on, magic this, magic that. No magic fucking wine.
And with that, the priest just looks at you and goes, "Try it again." And you give it a shake, and it is about half full.
You're not
And your
getting
last
this back,
mouthful only took a few seconds to when you shook it last, and that wine flagon is back to half full.
I like it. I'm keeping it. He's mine now.
Tomar kind of looks at you.
I'll buy it from you.
We'll talk before you leave.
Okay.
Oh god.
He seems open to the idea, but has recognized that this may not be the time and place for a business transaction of that nature.
Just gonna fucking yell at me again, so whatever.
So what would you guys like to do with it? And can I say that in amongst all of this, B1 and B2 have just, like, they've been hugging the wall. They've seen shit that they cannot imagine. This dark thing came out of the shadows, which was terrifying, slapped the shit out of the group that had already scared the shit out of them. And now there's hugging and drunken mumbling, and they are completely at a loss as to what the fuck is going on right now.
That's about right.
Can't believe you
Well,
brought those guys.
I can't do anything. I'm being
You can't believe. Did you just say you
cuddled.
can't believe we brought them back with us?
No,
Yeah,
I said I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do anything right now.
I'm sulking still.
Drinking your bottomless flagon of wine.
Exactly. Your words hurt.
Hmm.
Well, you're not apologizing then. Fuck you. What are you trying to say? Oh, fuck magic hands.
You can call me whatever you want. My name's Zach.
Magic hands. The shitter version of Magic Mark.
Yeah. Pink. You're fine. Okay. Well, we just entered the second floor of the dungeon, and we were like, looking around in the dark, basically.
She got
and
shanked.
She was
What?
doing practical jokes on me and everything, and then, yeah, suddenly out of nowhere, a net came down from the ceiling, trapping me and Fock, and then something came out of the darkness with a knife, and she just went down, and I tried to get her to safety, but she just bled out too quickly. I couldn't do anything. And then she's gone.
Yes.
I guess so.
Yes.
If they want to, we haven't formally
Well,
asked them.
As well
Yeah.
as Brutus and Matthew and that thing over there.
The thing that is yours. B1 and B2 are just we'll
I
be
don't have
whatever
a
you want us
name
to
for it
be.
yet.
No, you haven't. But
I didn't know.
we don't fully understand. But if you're asking us to join your party, we can't. So essentially, they being NPCs in gamer speak, they cannot actually become part of Team Chaos. That is, you could invite Jake to join your party, but you
Fuck that guy.
can't invite the NPCs unless they're bonded like Brutus is.
I'm gonna go over and pat Fox's shoulder. It's okay, mate. It's okay.
Yeah.
He won't hurt you anymore.
You heard me. Just shouted. I was sensitive. I'm holding this bottle.
I suppose we could go introduce you to Mort.
You know what?
Hello, I'm fuck.
What? What happened to your group though?
Oh, did someone shout at
Yeah.
you when they fucking died? What do you mean they chose death?
Look,
What?
Uh,
That's pretty dumb.
yeah, at least Ivy got to second level, but she chose death too.
I don't
as
know you
well,
that well, Jake, but you could slap him again if you want.
I probably deserve it.
I can feel it
True.
through the
I'm gonna
microphone.
take Jake's hand and lead him to Mort. This is just getting out of control now.
All right. But just I need to do some financial organization. So, Fokionis, you need to remove the diamond
Done.
from your inventory.
Roger that.
There was 1,000 gold that was paid to Brother Tomar before he did the ceremony. So, as a group, you can decide who, how, or where that's coming
We'll
from.
take
We
it
just
out
need
of
to total the loot because I don't even know what's what anymore.
We'll take it out of the 6,000 we got from the end of the dungeon.
Was that 6,000 individually or collectively?
That was collectively. So
Right.
essentially, you had 2,000 with then a further lot of 2,000 bonuses.
All right, so
we got 2,000 each.
You got 2,000 each.
Oh, okay.
but
You were only
now
meant to
that-
get
Whatever
2
we
grand,
looted.
but you had bonuses. Yeah, you looted a lot.
yeah, so we'll we'll sort out like the gold I got as well.
If someone can just organizationally take that 1,000 gold, so all 3 of you don't, if you can just manage that,
Okay, we're
please.
done.
I'll put in 500.
I just meant if you got. I mean, you can even sort that out in Discord later. So 1,000 bucks is out of your amount. You guys can figure out, or I'm happy for you to play it out. It's up to you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we'll sort it out later.
So the $1,000 has been played to Brother Tomar, who it just disappears
Yeah.
into his robe.
Thank you,
And
Brother Tomo and I have a side convo.
yeah, so Alia is leading Jake out, and with Alia, like Jake, you look around and just see that Alia has in tow behind her, because the bandits aren't staying. They're kind of they're nervous about Jake and who the hell he is and how he scared everybody else. But they're not staying here. So there's Alia and Jake being followed by Brutus and the ferret Drake in tow, and then 2 bandits, and then Zachary. And so Fokionis, you hang around briefly to have a drunken conversation with Brother Tomar, who's now sober. Your roles have thoroughly been reversed. Who explains to you that flask will continually keep filling up. Once emptied, it has a like hanging off. It's leather pouch essentially. It carries about, in D&D terms, about half a gallon of wine. There's a seal cork to close it all off. And lets you know that's his spare, and he's happy to let you have it for 250 gold, and it'll constantly keep on refilling.
Does it only do wine, or can I choose what beverage?
It only does wine, but if you can get your hands on an alchemy jug, you can have any liquid you want.
I think we have one of them.
Yeah, you do. But he doesn't know that.
That's okay.
But that just does
so-
wine. All right. So mark off 250 gold.
Righto.
The Tomar's pretty stoked at that. And as you're walking off, he just pulls another one out of his his cloak, and he's happily getting himself back into this. You can assume the state that you found him in. But he was certainly very serious about the work he did while he did it. And as you exit, you don't go through the room that you entered in. You just go straight out onto the street, where you can see a few more people kind of passing and going into the temple with a variety of ailments, and looking nothing. You don't see any more bodies, but then they could be in a sack. And I believe, Alia, you were heading off with Jake to introduce him to Mort.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I should go back to Maud as well. Get him to identify all this crap.
All right. So
Yeah, I got a fair amount of stuff.
the menagerie heads back to Mort's safe room. Jake, I do have the info on who your Bobka was. If it comes up, I'm just letting you know that I will jump in with that info if you need it. Just so you're not left laying in the lurch. That's okay. So as you guys all oh, sorry. God, there's so many of you. All wander up. This time when you come in, Mort doesn't bother getting up. He's just got Rathu on his lap, who seems quite contentedly asleep. Mort's up on the counter, legs crossed, with Rathu on those crossed legs, and he's back into his regular routine of drinking something out of a very large glass, quite happily, and giving Rathu a scratch on the head every now and then. He looks up as you come back in, and like this body after body after body after body keeps walking into his safe room. He does do a double take, and as Alia comes through with Jake, you go, "Fuck, you found another one? Where's the girl?"
Yeah, Ivy didn't want to come back.
You see him take a deep breath at this and lets it out. But you get the feeling that it's not Mort's first rodeo. He's seen far more than his fair share of crawlers come through and not make it. So he then picks his chin back up and goes, "So who's this then?" "Hi, I'm Mort." And Jake, you see as you come in, as you already know, this big fluffy Care Bear with an eye patch, with a rat sitting on his lap.
Just please don't punch him.
We'll get ready.
I wouldn't recommend trying to lay hands on a Bobka. No. But he does look at Zach a little bit confused and chooses to take you seriously. He doesn't quite know how to read it. Yes. He does take your hand
Fuck.
and a blink and seems slightly taken aback, but then looks at you closely. Changeling. Nice. Don't see many of your kind. Not many make that choice. He's yes. What do I have Mort as? Let's treat him at the moment as a halfling. Let's treat him as a halfling.
Oh, there was a bear.
He was Karis
Well,
Barris.
A
He
beast.
doesn't have a
Monstrosity.
and more than you actually seen Mort give more respect to Jake than any of the rest of you when he first met you. He's clearly quite impressed by what he's just witnessed. And a little bit of a smirk, which you don't see from Mort very often unless he's got cheese, disappears, like gently puts Rathu down, disappears into his little opaque area, and comes out with a literal basket of all kinds of different. You're not sure what they are. Like they're potion bottles, because they're corked, screw topped, all different colors and sizes, and he's just got a wicked grin on his face. They all work. Take your pick. Digs a little bit, picks up a bottle with a big smile. It's got like a pink tint to it. Go, this will set you right. And hands you this bottle of unknown substance. Done. And Mort is not going to identify what that is for you. Just to let you know, you don't know what it is. It's a pink bottle, looks a little bit larger than the potion of healing that you've experienced, had some experience with, Jake. You guys have all witnessed this instantaneous shift, and you could not tell the two apart. Jake was, for all intents and purposes, Mort for the brief time that he spent in that form, and now he is the Jake that you met again.
Nothing.
But now you're what? How'd you do that?
Some weird shit.
Actually, sorry, I will say one more thing. So you were a slightly larger version of Mort, Jake, because I believe that shapeshift, it does the humanoids, but it does it at your size. So if you were to imitate Phocyonis, you would be a 5'7" Phocyonis, and for Mort, you were a slightly taller Mort.
That would be one big ass raccoon.
Okay, for humanoids.
Oh.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, it was an identical Mort. Sorry. Scratch that.
Yeah, but
Yep, you have made that contact. So then we got a, and you've got another glistening orc.
You could say that, yes.
God.
You should try this one. Looks good. Nice form. I like you more now. You're good with the flattery. Drink? Oh, good. Fills up.
Yep. So you've just drunk
Half a gallon.
half a gallon of wine in one go, which is a fair amount, and then handed it back. And as you hand it back, you can feel it already getting heavier, and by the time it goes back, you can see that it is full of liquid again. And Jake, can you give me a Constitution save after sculling half a gallon of wine, please? No issue. You just take it like a champion. That Phocyonis physique just comes to the fore, and don't even notice that piddling amount of wine.
She didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. You can slap him again if you want.
Yeah, unlike with her
You don't
dad,
even have to
and
change
she
back.
did have a choice, and she
You guys do realize that I'm going to inform you that Jake was Ivy's boyfriend.
Do we realize you're going to? Or
what?
Yep.
Alia informs you that Jake was
right.
Ivy's boyfriend.
Oh,
How long?
right. She did not say anything.
Ah,
Your what?
thought. Yeah, she is in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it doesn't sound like Ivy.
What?
You know, you say something, it doesn't like come across.
Phocyonis has given you permission.
I mean, too bad you didn't say it sounds
Slap
like me.
that
but, you know.
Zach for me. Slap that Zach for me.
What? Zach is a bit of a shit sometimes. He deserves it.
What did you say about me?
Nothing.
When life imitates
Oh, the
art.
hand behind you and
He's even got the practiced. That was perfect.
Let's go. Feel that.
Okay. Lots of things are complicated to Zach, so he understands.
It seems to be what we do. Yes.
Ivy
Yeah.
started it.
Yeah, that was mainly Ivy.
This
And-
other guy really.
And now it's
like,
Alia.
He always like, you can't kill one. Fucking wah wah wah. You have to save everyone. Fucking wah wah wah. And then he just left after ordering like 400 pieces of clothes and rope. Isn't that right, Mort?
Mort's just following all of you. You go, oh yes, I have Rick's manacles and clothing and blankets waiting here for him to collect.
I don't know what, don't fucking shackle them, feed them. Worst Red Cross guy ever.
Meanwhile, the two bandits have somehow gotten their hands on a bottle of something, and they are just quietly at the back booth, passing it back and forth, trying to down it as fast as possible. They are attempting to be as quiet as possible, but it's pretty hard to hear the like that. Just this every bit of the conversation they catch that sounds like it may not go their way. The and then the bottle sloshing back and forth rapidly with gulp, gulp. Of course you may. They told me I'm B1 and he's B2. And you can't really tell much of a difference between them again, other than the stained, not that you can see from where you are currently standing, the wet pants on one. Otherwise, they're next to identical. They have clearly been NPCs, as you have already identified, cut from very much the same mold.
What do you mean? They don't look anything like each other.
Your picture doesn't look anything like
Oh,
each other.
right. Okay. Just me. Oops.
Oh, we're happy. We're happy to leave. Just tell us what to do. Or stay. We'll stay. Or we'll stay. All right, hang on. Let me grab their actual names. Here they are.
Pintel and Rigetti?
So very, very nervously, the former B1 goes, look, I'm happy to be B1, but my name's Ward, as in W-A-R-D. And this one over here, who's now he's got the bottle to himself, he's not having to share it, he's necking it, is Manta. So Ward and Manta.
Oh.
Okay. Sadly watch you leave. As you're doing that interaction, you can see that Mort has got a bundle of information that he's grabbed, kind of coming to terms with this new reality, and he hands around to you something that I will send to you all in the Discord. But it is essentially a list of upgrades that are now available to you in the safe room. I would have given it to you initially, but he was too keen to get you out to deal with the Ivy situation. So I will shoot those through to you, but you now have a range of upgrade options that have different potential benefits to the safe room, and including those of you, Zachary, you especially, when you look through it, and you'll see it when you look at the list, there was one item in particular that was written on the bathroom wall that it was recommended that you guys purchase, that you recognize, and you'll see it when you get to it. Actually, no, you'll recognize it. Zachary will, sorry, maybe not Egg. It was they recommended you 100% prioritize getting the toilet upgrade, which will make more sense when you see the list. The toilet upgrade.
Does it come with bidet?
You'll find out between
Hopefully.
now and next Monday.
Well, thanks.
But with that
That's right.
information, sorry, Zach.
like 10-ply toilet paper.
You need the bidet and you need like a roll of wet wipes or something because you've got some.
Yeah.
You make some regular visits, dude. You're gonna have you need some rash
It's
cream
not
and
a
stuff
number
for your
2
tushy.
every time.
So am I right in there that has Jake joined Team Chaos? Just so I know where we're at from an organizational standpoint.
Yeah, we can kick B1 and B2 out now.
Well, they were never actually in, but for Alia's sake, yes, she's definitely made
Oh,
sure they know
yeah.
they're not in the group.
At least, yeah. Yeah.
So Jake, you have received that same invitation, that same notification to join Team Chaos, having lost your previous group affiliation when they wouldn't leave the first dungeon. Do you accept it? Right. So with that, the very complex history that Jake has with Ivy in relationship with each of you that yet to be explored, joins Team Chaos, fleshing your group out to 5 again, with Rick still off with Zev, seconded to Zev, and safely in the safe room with now knowing B1 and B2's real names, and the rest of your menagerie spread around the space. That's where we will leave it. 'Cause it's nearly
Okay.
midnight.
Right. My
You
goodness.
get those items identified too?
Yeah. I assume that we can do that sort of between now and next.
Yeah, let's say that you hand over that giant pile of items. You can tip out all of your loot that you were discussing so that it can be divvied up over the week. So you guys can happily sort that out and just make sure that the 1,000 for the resurrection and the diamond are gone. Yes, so by the time we come back, all of those items, which I mean technically you could see because they came to you through Foundry, but please mark off in D&D Beyond. Actually, whoever's having them or has them when they're identified, just make sure they're in your inventory so that you don't lose track of them like you did with the alchemy jar. And you know, the talking doll and the bunch of other stuff that you guys have.
What do you mean?
So when you come back, if you don't mind just discussing that in the D&D Discord channel so that I know who's got what as well without having to look up your character sheets.
Oh shit, I've just looked at the inventory on Foundry. There's like heaps more stuff in my bag.
Yeah, well, there was you guys got a bunch of stuff, and I'm happy to just hit me up.
I remember I only got the 3 braces.
Yeah.
If I've deleted stuff,
they got the stuff.
That's right. If I've deleted stuff in D&D Beyond already, will Foundry sync up?
No, Foundry doesn't go. I made sure it doesn't go back the other way because it seemed a bit buggy. So I just made that one-way traffic. But I can just go and grab screen captures of each of the loot piles.
That's
if you
okay.
want me to, just hit me up.
I've deleted the diamond already. Do I have to delete it on Foundry as well?
No, it'll go when it syncs up.
Yeah, it'll sync up. Yeah.
As long as D&D Beyond's accurate, everything else will be fine.
Cool. So
yeah, we'll leave it there. So Mort's just looking at this pile of just stuff for him to sift through and identify for you guys. Some of it you see a real admiration of some of the items. So clearly some things there that have got some value to them potentially for one or more of you in the group. And we'll pick up next week with your shiny new toys and see what you want to do next. And it'll give you guys a chance to look at the map and check out some of the place names and look at the upgrades and make some decisions
Share
on what
out
you want
the
to do next week.
money.
Yep. Divvy up your money. Is that if you guys want to do it on stream, I'm happy for you to do that. If you want to do it off stream, that's okay too. Sorry, just I don't mind. I'm just know that's how you've done it previously.
Yeah.
So
that works.
And we did it in the last campaign also.
Discord chat works for me because then it's written down.
If anybody wants me to snip those loot piles and chuck them in, if you're worried you missed anything, just let me know. I'm happy to do that because you've It'll save you going
Yeah,
back through VODs or anything like that, just to make sure.
chuck them in. I
Yeah,
think
it could be worth doing.
because I remember
Alright.
I put all the gold from that thing in my inventory, but I don't
You
remember what
swore you
gold
were
I
gonna-
already had. So
Oh, from that room. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I
I'm
don't,
with you. Yeah, I
and
can
I've got
snip
the
all that.
gems and the gunpowder.
Yeah. Nah, all good. And if you guys have all of that and you allocate who it's going to, that'll get rid of any duplications and anything as well.
Yeah. So
And
are
easy.
we're selling the gems, I guess.
It's up to you guys. You'll
Unless
get them
you
identified.
Yeah,
do
whatever.
something really cool.
Not like
Yeah.
I can buy a better weapon with the gems.
You'll know exactly what they are by the time you get it all back.
Yeah,
At
cool.
least, like your players will.
Yep.
All right. And yeah, and think about what we want to buy as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
mission
there's
mash,
a
get
lot
an
more
upgrade.
open to you.
Holy crap!
Your players can't see that yet. I get that you can.
What?
Jeez.
There's a lot more shops and a lot more items and a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
This guy's. Did you do all this?
Yep.
Like manually. Far out.
Yeah,
Alright, I'm going now.
I generated character sheets. I love the fact that if I put the backstory and everything in the AI, it can generate a character sheet for me because I have no idea how to do that. So that was awesome. No worries. I'm gonna wrap up.
Okay.
If you want to catch the rest of this, check out the VOD on YouTube. We're gonna peace out. So peace out. Love you all. Thanks for the hang.
Bye.
Thanks for the enjoying the laughs and there were plenty. I'll catch you all next Monday.
Bye.
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 Oh, wand of polymorph.
What are you looking at?
He's looking at the
Inventory.
shop inventories.
Oh, I turned it off already. Oh, well. That's right.
Oh,
I'll save it for later.
fuck yes.
Alright, bye guys.
Oh, see
So
ya.
yeah,
Bye.
happy anniversary again. Enjoy the remainder of your night.
Thank you.
Well,
Cheers.
it's not
Bye.
anniversary anymore, technically.
Yes, it
It
is.
is in
It is
It's
in
WA.
only
WA.
10 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you're in
WA it
backwards
is.
time.
Yeah.
You're in the
Cheers.
past. See ya.
What? That was funny.
Oh,
That was good. I was just trying to lean into the song.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it was great.
Just go easy on us, because you did.
Yeah.
I thought you were
thought-
very controlled, Lily.
was good.
It was fine. Seriously.
I thought
It
you
was
were
no
like,
drama.
I thought you had like Jay come in at first, and I was like,
What, like you had your missus yelling at you?
That was fun.
no.
Lily's smacking you, Jake slapping you on the game, and you're about to get smacked around the ear hole in real life. That would, if there would just been a hand come around and
Oh, I'm
clip
sorry,
you,
one of your hands just
that would have just that was the shark jumping moment. We would have been just having to wrap up the campaign in the next couple of weeks if that had
That
been
would have been the cover right there.
there's nothing else you can go. Where do you go from there? Life imitating art, art
Nowhere.
imitating life. You were fine. Sorry, Lee, I digress. You were fine. That was really good.
No, all good.
No, it was all
Did you?
good.
Did you roll those stats though? Alright. It's a bit sus.
Yeah. Oh, sauce. You call him sauce. Hey.
Oh, good.
It's fine. It is fine.
It's up to Spar, really.
I'm good. I trust yous. We were doing the standard distribution. Is that what it's called? We weren't doing the roll.
The
stats.
standard point buy,
Yeah,
and that,
that's okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, it was same as I just took that from Jay and went with it because it that's how he got us to do it. So I just did the same thing. I'll be honest, I hadn't even looked at your character other than to sync it up. Oh, look, I'll apologize because
I
it sounds like your
hate
stats are pretty
rolled.
epic. So you're probably gonna suffer for that. I'm sorry for the points by.
You're fine. No,
And
you keep it. You should keep it. You should keep. No, keep your old stats, Lily. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
oh, good.
I just.
It was
by.
points by.
Yeah. 'Cause, was it? Yeah. Whenever I roll stats, I always get like maybe 1 above 10.
God.
It'd be like a
Dude.
14 or something. Yeah. So. So I hate it. But yeah, if you roll those, you should keep it. So epic rolls. Was it? Yeah.
I know this is more for you, Egg, because the others have already done theirs and are sticking with their their progression.
I get 2 turns.
So between now and next week, you're all doing a long rest. I'll shoot that into the Discord just so Racer can do a long rest. I don't think she'll need it, but just in case, do your long rest. Make your decisions on what you're doing, whether you're going to continue pursuing sorcery or whether you're going to respec. That's totally your call.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you've done it, and I'll sync up the
respec.
characters.
I'll let you know.
No worries.
Yeah.
Look, I honestly don't know shit about either of them, so I'm just trying to learn week to week. So whether I'm learning wizard or sorcerer, it's all good. But I do know now that officially giants are definitely not humanoids for spell consideration.
Yeah.
So I even found a great little diagram that someone did up and has
Oh, really?
shared that has they're missing a couple of the newer races like the turtle, but they've got what the humanoids are and their average sizes. It's a really great little visual. I found it very helpful. So the ones that essentially will be affected. The description you gave me of if they're the same size as your party, then that's really what's it? Well, obviously up to the Goliath, half Goliath, whatever the race is there. They're the biggest.
Goliath, yeah, probably be the biggest.
And below, so that made it a lot simpler for me as well.
Mm.
And I also found it's part of like what syncs up because we got access. I think it's to Tasha's in our like shared subscription thing that Jay's joined us into with his mate. Some of the creatures I've noticed that come across, unfortunately not the hill giants, actually say in there the hill giant, not hill giant, but just use it for example, hill giant, and then in brackets, it'll say humanoid, but then in brackets it'll say hill giant, and some, I forget what the rest is, just making sure that you know that it's not actually considered a humanoid for spells. So they've done some pretty cool updates to it with the synchronization of the data. Foundry, I'm very impressed with. I know it's 2D and I know it's static, but it's incredible the amount of stuff you can do
Very
with
immersive.
No.
And like bought the map packs, and I just sift through them to figure out what the best one is. This big world one I got out of a D&D group, and I asked to find who to credit for it, but I don't know who to give artistic credit. It was one that was being shared. And there's people who put out free maps for it as well, I discovered after I bought the map pack, so it's pretty cool. The grids don't always line up, but it's manageable. Like with this one, the grid doesn't quite line up, but it's very, very manageable.
Oh my god.
You're just going around all the shops having a look at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this one of polymorph, I reckon. But that's like all the gold we got, basically. But it's so good.
There's a lot of shops and shopkeepers and.
Yeah, well, we have like
Yeah.
there's like scrolls of the temple sells scrolls, right? But no
Yeah.
one in the party can use them there. so that's fucking useless.
You guys aren't the only party that are in this adventure. It's not just about you
Oh,
guys.
it's like
There are other are
we're
other
the main characters.
players.
You know this.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that everything just has to be perfectly like tailored to you.
Oh yeah. What +1
Like-
hand crossbows? Oh, respect to it. Actually, good, eh? It's a good build with hand crossbows. That's pretty cool. There.
On that note, I'm gonna go get some sleep because there is a little one who will no doubt be up and greeting the sun in a few hours' time. So I'm gonna go get into that. But that was good fun. Thank you all.
Have fun
welcome
watching
to
the
party,
VOD.
Jake. I did update the overlay. I'm right. Sorry, Ivy. Ivy, Lily, if you're still there, he's a rogue, isn't he? Changeling rogue.
Guy's gone.
Ah.
But yeah, Changeling Rogue. Looks like.
Just go and open it up.
Oh, that's what he is
Yeah.
in D&D.
Easy. Didn't even know changelings were a thing, which is very exciting to find out because that opens
Yeah.
up a whole lot of other options as well.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
shit.
cool content.
It's like next level of the dungeon, everyone's a changeling. And it's like an Among Us type scenario. And
What, can I push a button and
Yeah.
have a meeting over to the side?
yeah, you gotta have a
Then
meeting.
all we gotta have a
be
meeting.
I want in the middle
anywhere.
there, sausage.
Yeah,
It
you
was
guys are
red.
great with button pressings and remembering things that come out though. Like you got a Harry Potter silver snitch key that came down.
I've got a golden snitch gif.
It was brilliant.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
forgot it was there.
Yeah, we'd suck at that scenario. Spar, don't do it.
We do.
Mate,
Be like,
I've the next dungeon's already. I haven't built it yet, but I've already got it sketched out. So no, I am not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
change it into an Among Us changeling dungeon. Fuck that.
Dungeon 6?
That's a very cruel idea, but the
Cruel
next level
idea.
is yeah, funny.
It'd be like the thing. It's like, oh, it's him. No, it's him. And then, like, we got to put like iron or something on everyone that tests them, test their blood. All right.
You've clearly thought about this.
I think he has.
It's a fun idea, but yeah, let's put that in the maybe pile.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's actually
future
like
consideration.
yeah, legacy. Like they don't allow it. I don't think they allow it in normal D&D stuff anymore. The changeling. Who?
Sorry, say that again.
Ah,
No, I was just asking before. I'm just confirming. Jake's a changeling rogue. Yes.
What type of rogue? Phantom.
Cool. I just wanted to do the overlay correctly. To make sure I had the overlay
Can
correct. That's
we
all.
swap?
Mate, you can do your own thing. You've got the whole, like all of the fantasy element. Don't break the game with fucking lightsabers and steampunk guns and shit in.
Yeah,
Oh, I hope
we
not.
got
I don't want you to.
No, it's a magic item though. It's like the sun sword. I think it's called. It's a lightsaber.
Holy shit, Lily! Did you sketch that art up?
yeah,
Like,
she's ages before we like even
I'm just getting caught.
like, instantaneously almost.
Wow, I'm actually going to change the name to Manta. I like your spelling better.
Yeah, they're right. She's just like. It's like
I like
a
it.
camera, basically. Pictures of the inside of her head.
That's incredible. And can you please stop apologizing? Jake's entry was just perfect for what he'd been through, and you are needlessly stressing yourself.
Yeah,
Please.
it was really well done.
It was really good.
But my face
really
still
good.
hurts in real life.
Good. You deserve a real life slap for how much of a prick you Zachary was being. You were being such. You were so far on the spectrum there, and you took Zachary like to the autistic limit. Just like, holy shit! How far is he gonna go with this? It was also literally like, no, but she didn't want to. Like, dude.
I was like, what are you doing?
She did.
Oh my goodness.
You know.
It was very, very funny. Very entertaining all around. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh, I've got to find my little reference of the safe room upgrades and make sure none of my notes say things that I don't want you guys to read, but that is a job for
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And put through all the loot
It's really
we got
easy to share
as
the
well.
one minute. Just I'll give you like my Microsoft scan and it'll be fun. I totally won't look through anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I'm good.
Just give us access to it like you did before. with
Oh,
the,
when I didn't set the
Dropbox.
permissions up right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, there's so much that's been added since then. Even if you did have a copy of it, it was basically the first level and the first level world between.
Yeah.
And you've hit most of those story beats, or you've made decisions that have changed the direction of where I thought things were going to go, which is good. I'm enjoying that.
No, I'm glad you enjoy it.
KSO's real. Yeah, I am actually. I'm enjoying it a great deal. Are you right looking around every single shop?
Turn the server
Hey,
up.
No,
No.
I'm about to because my computer's about to be turned off. So have your last look.
Get a ghost step
Jeez.
tattoo. Fuck yes.
I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
make some
I'm
stuff.
closing down the
Tomorrow.
server. I need to go get some sleep.
And just become incorporeal whenever.
I'll send you a password and a username, Spar.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
We'll give it
All
a go.
right.
No, it's gone. I
Peace,
can't.
you lot. Dude, I'm turning my computer off. I'm going to bed. See you next Monday, if not before.
Good night. See
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
I'm glad you're back,
Bye.
Lily.
Yeah, sorry it took so long, but blame the rest of your team.
Yeah. We sped through that.
You really did. You really did. It's just sucked that you died the first, like, you came in. Anyway,
Yeah. No,
I'm
I
out.
think. Yeah. No.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.